Hi friends, Deanna Wolf here. I am standing outside Balance Yoga Studio, which is my favorite yoga studio in the country, and it has the best instructors and the hardest classes, and the person who runs it is Michael Mayle, and we are going to speak with him today about new styles of yoga that he's teaching here, Pilates, and some of the foundational beliefs behind those particular styles of yoga, and what you can do in 2026 to stay happy and healthy. So just 1 second, we're gonna go inside and talk to Mike. Okay, ciao. Hi, this is Deanna Wolf here. I am here with Michael Mayle. We are doing my first ever podcast, and we are featuring him because he's the owner of Balance Yoga Studio in San Jose. It is my very favorite yoga studio on planet Earth. It has excellent, it's amazing. It has excellent hot Pilates classes and a new style. Well, it's not really new, it's an old style, but we'll get to that, of Ghosh yoga, which is similar to Bikram but different, and we'll talk about that. And Mike has been running the studio for a really long time. He has a great community. His instructors are super happy. It's super diverse, and it's a wonderful place to practice yoga. So I highly recommend that you come to Balance Yoga Studio in San Jose. He did not put this up to me. I wanted to hear what he had to say because he has a great studio. So this is Michael Mayle. I have questions for him, and we'll just start with those, some really simple ones.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Thank you. It means a lot that you love what we're doing here.
Yes, it's a wonderful place. I can't say enough positive things about it. So, okay, so it's 2026, it's January 3rd today, and people are thinking about the new year and taking care of themselves. And I know it's a cliche, right? But do you have any advice for people who might show up to the studio and they're trying yoga for the first time, beginning of the year? What should they do to stay healthy, or get healthy and happy?
Well, I think it's an interesting time. At the beginning of the year, we get a lot of people that have decided that they're going to take up maybe exercise for the first time or yoga for the first time. And it's a great time to come into the studio because we're busy, and it's nice to be in a room full of people. What I would say to anybody that's like starting out new is to come in and do a lot, like just get to the studio and put yourself in the room and do as much as you can. I think I was just having this conversation in the lobby with somebody asking me what to do, and I said, just come here. When I first started, I was just made it a habit to get off work and come down and do it every day. And I made it, that's the best way, I guess, to make it part of a habit or part of your lifestyle. And to not feel like you have to come in and do everything all the time or be 100% all the time. But to just get in the room, put your mat down, and do what you can. And the more you do, the better you get at it. And then maybe, hopefully, it becomes something that you do all the time, and you become a lifer like me, where you just feel like you have to open a business or something.
Right. Well, it's a great business, and for me, it's a place to constantly refresh myself. And I know for a lot of the people who come here, and today's class was packed. Like it was you couldn't get any more people in that room today. So this is a good sign. But we definitely want people to keep coming to yoga, I think, as often as is healthy for them, right? So that's great advice. Okay, so now there's something different that you're doing than other hot yoga studios. There is, a lot of practitioners have done the 26 and 2 series with Bikram yoga. Mm-hmm. They changed from calling themselves Bikram to hot yoga, mm-hmm. and there's a lot of variations of that now. But you're doing Ghosh yoga, and I think it's a really interesting concept, and in some ways is an improvement on the Bikram series. And so I'm just wondering if you can explain what it is about and what the classes are like.
So, when I first opened the studio, it was with the intention to do all Bikram yoga, the 90-minute format, the 26 postures, 2 breathing exercises in the heat for 90 minutes. And that was back in 2010. And just the market has changed over the years. I mean, that seems like forever ago. And lots have happened in the Bikram yoga space. And I always felt, being exposed to the beginner class and the 90-minute format was really great. And then I was also exposed to the advanced class where you do all the postures. You do 84 poses and take a couple hours to do it. And I never felt that, I felt that was great. There were postures in there that were intermediate, advanced, but it really wasn't accessible to everybody. And as time went on, I thought to myself, somebody's got to come up with a way to do it in the style that Bikram came up with, where you hold the pose and you rest. But I mean, why does it always have to be the 26 postures? Not that I don't love the 26 posture routine, because I still think it's great. But I mean, there's so many more poses out there. So what's next? I mean, not everybody can do the advanced class. I think very few people can do all the advanced poses, but there's more than 26 out there. So what's the logical next step? I mean, how do you put together a class where you can do more? The 26 postures are available, and if you go to a regular yoga class, you're going to have instructors that get in there and sequence based on who's there and what you want to do with the class, and you're going to pick a routine or a sequence, and it changes every time. Basically, most classes are like that. Where Bikram was
very set.
It's just it, the 26 postures.
Getting, yeah.
And if you like Bikram yoga the way I like Bikram yoga, there's sometimes where you just don't want to flow, like you don't want to do the flowing stuff. You want to, do a hatha yoga class where you hold the posture and then you rest, and there's not all these down dogs and all of that. So what's the logical next step? And so to kind of back up a little bit, for a while I was playing around with sequencing and what to do, and a little over a year ago, 2 years ago now, I had an instructor one of my hot Pilates instructors came to me and said, hey, I want to do a yoga training. Are you doing them? And I said, well, not right now. And she asked me where to go, and I'd been following Scott and Ida, who came up with Ghosh Yoga. So if you go to ghosyoga.org, you'll see what they're doing. And I said, you know what? I do a training every year. I'm going to take it with you. So I put myself in their training, and I went, this couple has figured out what I've been working on for so long, is let's put together maybe 40 some odd postures, learn how to sequence them, and approach it in a similar way that Bikram did, but have the class change from class to class. So what are the postures? How do you sequence? And how do you make it feel, how do you cater it to beginners? And also how do you sequence? I really believe that the yoga instructor should be trained to know enough to get in and look at the room and say, this is what we're doing today, guys. And you've got an hour. People nowadays tend to want to do an hour of yoga. So how do you sequence in an hour and not have it flow? Maybe do this today or do this tomorrow, and put in 40 some odd postures that the folks will learn over the course of time.
So that's in a nutshell what the Ghosh
style is. That's essentially what Ghosh style is.
Yeah.
My experience with people that love Bikram yoga come in and do the Ghosh yoga, and they just fall in love with it right away, because typically the 26 postures are in there. I think we took class now, and I used a lot of the 26 postures, so it feels very familiar. At the same time, you get to do postures that aren't in the Bikram series, that are also still for beginners and just fit well. And I really think what that class is the next step to what Bikram yoga should naturally transform into, where the instructor has liberty to sequence,
right,
and make it different every time, but make it feel familiar every time. And people get to listen, the 26 postures are great, but there's so much more out there, so why not do more?
Right.
And why does it have to be the same every time? I want to learn all the postures. I've been doing this 20 years now, and only being exposed to 26 postures, to me now, when I think about it, it's kind of weird. Like, is that all you're doing? 26 postures? Yeah. There's a whole world of yoga out there.
Right. Thousands of poses.
There's so much that you can do, and for different bodies, and why not? Why not do more? And I really love the system. So I like I said before, I think it's the next logical step to get out of this in a box and make it a little bit different each time.
Yeah, but it has all the principles that, what I like about Bikram was it's hot. There's pausing and you can concentrate on the pose you're doing. And so it kind of slows things down and you can get better at the poses that you're doing. And it just like, so those elements are all still there. And for me, it's a little bit healthier because there's some of the poses in Bikram that I just can't, like, they're too hard on my back. So I mean, I think it's the next thing. And obviously today's class was packed. You couldn't fit anyone else in there. So maybe it'll catch on a larger scale. So we'll see. But other questions about the hot yoga idea, because we talked about this the other day.
Sure.
Like, the classes are about 103, 105, depending on, the humidity. It affects the way that the heat feels. Where did that come from? Because
from what I understand, this is what I understand, that Bikram didn't necessarily come up with the idea of the heat. He was the first one to introduce the heat to the West. And I mean, the whole idea is that it's hot in India, right?
Okay.
And at one point, Bikram was teaching in Japan, and it's very cold in Japan. And he's teaching in a small space, and his students started to bring space heaters in to heat the room. Boom. It's hot in the room. If you've ever practiced in a cold, like a frigid room, it's not, a cold body doesn't move as well. So a warm room really works well. And I don't think back then, it was very hot. We're talking, heating the room to not 40 degrees. We're heating it to 70, 80 degrees, and then going from there. At one point, Bikram moved and started teaching in Hawaii, and I don't think that there were any heaters there. I mean, it seems to be, have you ever been to Hawaii? It's like always 80 in Hawaii. So no need for the heaters. And then coming into San Francisco, and it's always kind of cold in San Francisco. I think it's probably 50 degrees there right now and very humid. And, let's turn the heat on. And somehow he made it over to LA, again, heating the room. But back in the day, in the 1970s, early 80s, the rooms really weren't heated very much. 80 degrees. Maybe if there were a lot of people packed in there, it would get to 90 just because of the amount of people in the room. And then somewhere in the 1990s, the heat got really cranked up. And to like this 105 and the 60% humidity. And I think, I might be rejecting here, I think that since you're only allowing people to do these 26 postures, and that's it, that's all you can do, and now your students are progressing in their skill level, well, how do you make it harder for people? If these are beginning postures, well, let's crank the heat up and keep it there. And then it just kind of stuck. In my opinion, I think personally, I think 105 and 60 is a bit too hot for an everyday thing. For me, at least, I'd lose too much fluid. We heat the room to about 100, maybe 102, and I think that's kind of the sweet spot. I was telling you the other day that sometimes I think the heat is a gimmick. I think it's great. At the same time, I don't always like to practice in the heat nowadays.
I love the heat though. I'm like, oh, I'm melting. This is the greatest thing ever. But I think it's because I work out all the time, and this is just one area where I can kind of relax and get the sweat going, and so it's a different experience for me, right?
Don't get me wrong. I love coming in the room. It feels really nice to be in a hot room practicing with people.
Yes.
I don't think I would crank the heat up if I was at home.
No?
I would be just fine in room temperature.
I
mean, if it was cold, I might heat the room to 72.
Oh, okay.
But it's fine. I come to the studio to practice in the heat.
Right.
And it's nice.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, I really enjoy it.
The heat certainly brings in business.
Yes, it does. And I mean, I'm one of those people who's like, it's just exactly right hot there, so I'm going to go there. And if it's a little too cool, then I don't, I can be like, oh, well, I feel like I just kind of perspired a little, and it doesn't feel as purifying to me.
Yeah, people love to sweat.
Yeah, it feels great. So, okay, but the other thing that you do here that it changed my life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a cliche, but is the hot Pilates classes.
Sure.
I'd never taken a hot Pilates class, so I took a class here, and I was like, oh my God, this is life-changing because I have really bad lower back
Yeah.
problems. And the
Yeah.
first part of hot Pilates, we'll go more about, I have a question for you, is the sequence where you do all the bridging.
Sure.
And then, you know, if I went to the physical therapist and this is like all of that is what I'm supposed to do, but there's no way I would do it to the degree on my own that we do in the classroom here.
Yeah.
So can you explain how you got introduced to
Sure.
Inferno Hot Pilates and what your style is here?
Yeah, absolutely. So the story there, well, I'll tell you the story. I opened up the studio to do Bikram yoga, and everything was going great until about 2012. Opened up in 2010. About 2012, Bikram yoga started to lose favor, and I was quickly going out of business. Like, I remember telling my wife, I said, according to these numbers, I've got about 2 years and then my studio is gone. And at that time, as a business owner, you start to, you know, just wonder what your focus is. With the thing that I went in to open a business for is now not viable. So what do we do? The studio's got 2 rooms, and I've got a number of instructors, and one of my instructors came to me and said, you know, I learned this new thing called hot Pilates. I want to add it, you know, I'd like to teach it. And I kept telling her, no, we're a yoga studio. We do yoga here.
Yeah.
And at that time I was doing other yoga styles, and they weren't bringing in enough people, and I was going out of business. And then finally it dawned on me, you know, the bank, the landlord, none of these people care what we're doing. They want to get paid.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep my house.
Yeah.
Whatever. Do your stupid hot Pilates in the small room. I'm sure it's gonna flop.
Right.
And that was, I had this hot Pilates class, and it was me. So if you imagine, I had this girl, she could only teach Tuesdays at 4:30, and I have a small room, I have a big room. I put her in the small room, and I had my Bikram yoga class that was packed all the time. Tuesday and Thursday, I taught it packed, and I put her in there for the hot Pilates, and she started with 5 people, and I came out, she was an hour class. I came out from my 90-minute class, and there's all 5 people are there telling me, we want to do more of this. And I went, okay. Thursday comes around, half of the people from my class are now in doing hot Pilates. Again, I came out, and everybody's looking at me like, let's do more. The next Tuesday came around, I had 5 people in my class, and her room was packed. And then the Thursday, so there were 4 classes in, 2 weeks in, 4 classes. I showed up to teach. I had one, I'll never forget this. I had one woman sitting in front of me. Everybody else from my class was packed in the room. And I looked down at her and I said, do you just want to go in there? And she picked up a mat.
That's incredible.
And ran in the room. And then I came out and I sat in the lobby and I cried.
Oh.
And then just thought to myself, you know what? I think this hot Pilates thing might be big, and it might behoove me to figure out like what this is and go learn about it, because I don't have any idea what they're doing in that room. So I got on my laptop, I did a little research, and I found Inferno Hot Pilates. The training happened to be happening in like 3 days, and you know, you ever have that, you know, the credit card that you're not ever supposed to use because you're broke?
You use that one.
I pulled out that card, I charged the money, I drove my broken car to Inferno Hot Pilates in Las Vegas, and I went through her second teacher training ever. And at the time, she was in this really, really tiny studio, and I showed up and I took every class, and I sat in that studio for the 4 days of the training. I took every class, so three classes. I didn't take lunch, I took class.
Yeah. And
in that time, I thought to myself, this stuff's absolutely incredible. It fits in exactly. Gabby Walters, shout out to Gabby Walters. She was talking about hot Pilates the way I talked about Bikram yoga at the time. And I thought, you know, these 2 things are going to be great. I'm going to bring this back to San Jose and just go with it. And I remember her asking me, she said, you know, hey, what are you doing before you drive back? I said, I don't know. She said, why don't you come in and take class? And I woke up that Monday morning and I couldn't move. I was so sore, and I just called her and I can't even move. I've got to drive back. So I got my legs in the car, drove back, took a hot bath and pulled everything off the schedule that wasn't working, put myself on the schedule to teach hot Pilates. And in about 2 months, I went from going out of business to being back in business. And that was the beginning of hot Pilates.
Wow.
And it still is really the most popular thing that we do. It's great. It delivers results. The classes are a lot of fun. So this is just a funny thing. So I put hot Pilates in. I'm the only one teaching. I'm a little pudgy.
Oh,
and
you were?
Yeah,
oh
and I'm watching everybody in the studio get fit.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, okay, you're going to take the training, and you're going to take the training, and you're going to take the training. And I called Gabby up and I said, I've got 7 instructors to bring to you. I need you to do a training. They all got trained, and then now I had a staff of teachers, and I came back, and in about 3 months, I lost all the weight. I got very lean, and I just love hot Pilates. I think it's a great system. It makes you very strong, very lean, very cardiovascularly fit, and I think it fits in perfectly with all the styles of yoga.
Yeah.
And it's just great, and I just haven't looked back. At the time when I met Gabby, I felt that I'm showing up at the beginning of something that's just going to go gangbusters. This is not going to be a flash in the pan, and I'm going to come back and make sure that it's a hit here. And it wasn't hard to do. It's still going strong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of these people who was like, what is this? This is incredible. Because before taking those classes, I had stopped running because my lower back really didn't have the strength to withstand the pounding that happens with running.
Yeah.
But I took 2 months essentially, and then I could run again. And I mean, I'm not running marathons, but I could run 5 miles, 6 miles, and it made a huge difference. And I just, I mean, it's just hugely beneficial. The only thing that's missing, I'd say, from hot Pilates is the meditation that you get from regular styles of yoga, where, for example, with Bikram or the Ghosh classes, you're calm, you're centered, you're taking a deep breath, you're focusing on one thing at a time. Like a hot Pilates class is high energy movement until you're exhausted.
Well, good news. We have those classes too.
Yes, you do. You have it all here. So
so if you're not familiar, hot Pilates is high intensity interval training using Pilates principles. There's a format that we use to systematically warm up the body, get the core very strong, and then we do cardio. So
there's basically, it seems like it's broken into 4 groups, but it's really 3, right? So the first part is the bridging series.
Bridging, then abs, then you got planks and back bends, prone series, and then you stand up for 20 minutes and do things like burpees, squats, push-ups, lunges, really get the heart rate up. And then there's a tiny cool down at the end. You start and end in dead body pose, which is just like a yoga class. It's great. They're addicting. The classes are addicting. They're fun. There's music.
Right.
It's a wonderful system, and it delivers results. A lot of the results that Bikram would say that you would get from Bikram yoga, you can get from Bikram yoga over a long time, but you get those results like instantly. We're talking in a couple of months if you come to a Pilates class 2 or 3 days a week.
Right.
And I think that's why it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get lean and strong, take the hot Pilates classes, do 2-3 days a week, and in 1, 2, 3 months, you're going to be a different person.
Right. And the classes here, though, in particular, I've taken hot Pilates across the country, and like they're really hard here. Like there's not a lot of pausing. It's back-to-back exercise, and at the end of class, you're like, I'm done. I'm ready to go. So I highly recommend that people take those classes in addition to the other classes. But you do it all here.
With everything, I think that you can do hot Pilates, and you can do hot Pilates in a certain way that really delivers results, and you can also do hot Pilates that doesn't deliver as many results. And I've made sure that the system that we have here and the way that we teach it is going to get you fit. And I tell people this all the time, that the regulars make it look very easy. What we're doing here is not easy at all.
It's hard. Yeah.
And I think some of the biggest compliments I've gotten from you, because you travel a lot.
Yeah.
When you come back and you say, I was at Anytown, USA, and it wasn't like this. I'm like,
No, I haven't. I mean, yeah. There's no other studio where I walk out of the class and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do another push-up. That was good, you know. Or we're towards the end of the class. I'm like, I know it's gonna end soon. There's only 5 minutes, and I'm gonna be done with this. So that's
exactly what I want.
Well, I mean, it's definitely distinct to your studio, and I think people who are really into working out should come here because they're gonna get what they came for, and also to just get fit. So, another question that's kind of a bigger question. You've been running the studio for a while. Mm-hmm. Okay, you know, there's the COVID not having a studio for a while, but your studio is also super diverse, and the instructors seem really happy and they stick around. And
sure.
You're not constantly running trainings like other studios. And I'm just wondering what your philosophy is behind, you know, running your studio. It's a community you created here.
Yeah.
So,
well,
how'd you do that?
Well,
Sorry, is that too hard of a question?
That's the real question.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so my focus has been for a very long time is community and community building, and to have people come in, feel at home, feel like it's part of their life, that they feel at home here, and the instructors are a big part of that. I don't want to churn through instructors. I would prefer to have instructors take a training, stick around and teach and get better and better at the skill of teaching. Yeah. I don't want to be the studio that continues to run trainings. It's a thing out there where you run trainings and then no one gets hired. So and it's a revenue generator. And not that I don't like revenue and all of that, but I also don't like to put on trainings and teach 8 people or 10 people or 20 people how to teach something and then go, good luck out there.
Yeah.
So I tend to run trainings when I know that, like, maybe, I don't know, people are moving or they have a couple babies and they can't teach anymore or whatever it is, and now I know that I'm going to have to run a training because I'd like to start some new instructors on the path, and so that's really.
It's been a while since you've had a training. I kept asking you
It's been a while,
for some trainings.
Right? Yeah, I've been really lucky my staff is amazing. I couldn't do it without the staff. I've got folks that have been here since the early 2010s and they're still teaching. Also, we don't just do hot yoga, hot Pilates. We've got the yoga strength, which is a yoga with weights,
right.
Vinyasa flow. So I've got a number of instructors that can teach all of it. And the market sometimes shifts. I mean, gosh, there was a time when we didn't have the yoga strength and then that became a big thing. So I would rather have instructors here know how to teach all the styles than have 30 instructors and everybody only teaches one thing.
Right.
Because who knows what the next thing is going to be.
Yeah.
And there's going to be another thing coming.
Right. Well, is there something that you want to introduce, or?
No,
you're just talking about it in general.
Right now, introducing the Ghosh yoga has been my focus to get away from the 26 postures and make it more of the Ghosh style. I don't know what the next thing is right now. Yoga strength. I might know it as yoga sculpt out there. The yoga with the lightweight seems to be very popular.
Yeah.
And let's do that. Let's do it well. And then with a good vinyasa class, people still want that. And the hot Pilates class works very well. So right now that seems to be the core of the business.
Yeah.
But there's going to be something. I mean, if the studio lasts as long as I want it to last, who knows when there's going to be that thing.
The new thing.
And then, what are we doing now? Because if I'm going to focus on community, what are the people that want to do here? What do they want to do? Yeah. And then how do we make those classes really well? And then how do we make those classes fit into what everything else is doing here?
Do you think that that first experience with Pilates, where it's like everybody was taking that class and you came out and you're like, nobody wants to take my class, was like a formative experience where you're like, I think I'm going to have a more open mind now? Because
that was the first thing. I thought my focus was off. The focus at that point was everybody's doing Bikram yoga, damn it.
Yeah.
And then I had to take a step back and think, maybe my focus is all wrong. There's people that are coming here and they don't want to do this thing, but they want to be in the hot room. They want the benefits of group exercise. And then what are the good things about Bikram yoga that aren't Bikram yoga?
Yeah.
Can we do that with hot Pilates? Well, yeah, we can. Can you do that with Vinyasa flow? Yeah, you can. What about this yoga? I remember when yoga with weights came around, I said,
yeah,
are you kidding me? Okay, try it out. And then everybody started packing in the room, and I went,
Right.
okay, so can we do that with the same? Yeah, you can. So that's the focus. Let's not focus on what we're doing, but who's doing it, and how can we make that accessible to everybody. Really, one of my things is I want the classes to be taught in a way where a majority of the population can come in and do it. I don't want there to be like we cater to this tiny segment of the population.
Right.
I want there to be 80-90% of the people that walk in the door can find something, and probably find in all the classes they can do.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, keep it straightforward. The body only moves so many ways, and hybrid classes are the thing now. People seem to be busier. They want to get in, take an hour out of their day. Probably with commute and everything, we're probably talking an hour and a half. Get in, get as much done, and then move on to the next.
Right.
So how can you put that on in a group environment? And I still believe that practicing with a group is the best way to go. I mean, I don't know about you, but some days I'm not motivated.
Yeah.
And I get really motivated when I get in the room and there's a group of people there, and it's like, all right, what are we doing?
Oh, I appreciate it. Like I'm like, I'm in your hands. Whatever you say, I'm going to do.
Yeah,
but I don't
good.
have to think about it, right?
let's
So I appreciate that 100%. And
Yeah.
the whole the style and your attitude to it's so honest about being like, I don't think this is going to work, and then it does work, right? But like you'll try it.
Yeah.
And the thing is like that's the whole studio has this, there's no cliques here as far as I can tell. Like it seems to me that like it's very open, people are very social.
Yeah.
There's some flux here where people are willing to try new things, and it's just, I think, overall super positive. And I think also, just as you said, that anyone can take these classes. You don't need to be like some super skinny bendy person.
No.
You can be just
They're welcome
a
here,
normal.
too.
Well, of course, everyone's welcome. But I think that people can feel like, okay, yoga's just for those people, and
No, it's for everybody.
Yeah,
There's a way that the body moves, and I think that if you can put the exercises in whatever you're doing that most people can do, and then put it on in a way that people find engaging and fun and entertaining and worth the money, that let's do that. So I'm game for anything that fits
that bill. Yeah.
And when you start doing enough of that, I mean, okay, what are we doing today? Oh, all right, let's do that.
Yeah.
That was fun. Do you have another class like that?
Yeah.
So that, to me, that's the criteria.
Yeah. Well, it's working, and I mean, obviously, I'm super pleased with it. Okay, so one more question, and that is, if you had to pass on, sort of 3 pieces of advice to either a new yoga student or just a person that's trying to get healthy and happy in the coming year. I know it's kind of a cliche, but I mean, people like to have things to hang on, like an idea. I mean, you already hit on like being consistent, right?
Yeah.
Like that would be one, right?
That's the first thing that I think of. Just get here.
Yeah.
Get to the studio and do your best. Don't feel the need to do 100%. I think that's the biggest trap, is to doubt yourself and to think, well, if I can't go 100%, I might as well not do it. You've got 20% energy, come in and do 20%. You'll be shocked to find out that you thought you had 20% and you might have 60 in you.
Yeah.
I've had days where I thought I had 100%. I showed up and I realized it was 20, but now I'm in the room.
Yeah.
So if you
Now
make
you're
it
stuck.
Yeah, and it's slow over time. I mean, get here and meet some people and exercise. Do it again. Keep doing that over and over again, and before you know it, you'll transform. I think that it's a method of transformation for a lot of people, and as the owner or from an instructor's side of things, a lot of times people don't realize how much they've transformed because they're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And then I look back and I go, you look like you've lost like 20 pounds, or you're standing taller, or you're smiling more, and people aren't aware of it, and it's just this process of coming in and
That's right.
doing the thing. And if you feel like I can't do it, you can. You know, the classes are designed for people that have never done it before or are getting back into it or do it every day. And you just come in and go, you know, lack of a better phrase, go through the motions at first, and you will get better, you will transform, but you got to get here.
Yeah.
You got to get here. Yeah.
So get here, do the work, and be patient.
Yeah, be patient. Yeah, be
Yeah.
patient. Rome wasn't built in a day. If you're at a low point in your life, you didn't probably get there overnight.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get to where you want to go overnight. You might as well just, if that direction isn't, you know,
Yeah,
go this direction.
try something else,
Try
right.
something new. In this studio, you know, most of the studios I've been to have a community there, and they're great people. That was one of the first things that I noticed right away going to yoga studios when I wasn't an owner of one, is like, these places collect some pretty great people.
Yeah.
And they're hanging around, they're in the lobby, they're in the locker room, they're on a yoga mat next to you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna meet some pretty cool people that are on a similar journey as you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that seem to be friends, and the instructors seem to be friends too. So, you know, I mean, I think that that's awesome. So, and again, very friendly environment. Okay, anything else that you want to add that I haven't asked that you feel that you need to?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I could talk a lot.
We can talk another time for sure. You know, this is just podcast one where I talk to the people that I think need to get, you know, accolades and attention for what they've done.
Well, thank you.
You know, because you really make a difference for people and do it so well that,
Thank you.
I mean, and
That
I
means a lot.
take classes everywhere all the time, and I just, every time I come back here, I'm like, oh, this is so great. I'm so lucky I get to go here. So
that
anyway.
makes me feel really good. It's this is basically all I do. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we're making an impact, and that people notice and keep coming. It's
I
great.
hope they do too. Okay, well, thank you, Mike. Thanks for
You're
talking
welcome.
with me, and you know, I'll keep you posted about how this goes. And
Yeah.
I hope anybody who's listening to this, will visit Balance Yoga in San Jose and take some.
BYCyoga.com.
Yes, take the classes here. They're amazing. And again, like, I just am a student who loves the classes, and I think people should try them out. Okay, ciao.